y'all, this is Amanda with She's a Mad Gardener. It is cold, windy, very rainy outside today in our Texas area, and so I thought I'd come inside and work on a project that I've actually been meaning to do since October. Running a little bit behind. I'm going to be working on a terracotta bowl that I'm going to be using baking soda paint, DIY baking soda paint on it to give it a really textural kind of Southwest feeling, and then I'm going to be planting it up with my Amaryllis bulbs. Okay, so I picked up this terracotta pot at Home Depot. I chose it because it's low. There's room for about 4 Amaryllis bulbs to sit in here, and I really like the shape of it. However, I wasn't really super keen on the perfect terracotta. I tend to like my designs a little bit more like rustic, Southwest kind of feel, lots of texture. So I thought I'd go ahead and do a baking soda paint treatment on here. Basically, you're just looking for any kind of old paint that you have around the house. Don't go out and buy a bunch of new paint for it. See what you have, see what you can work with, and baking soda. You can do a 1-to-1 ratio. You can add more. The more baking soda you add, the chunkier, more textured, more bubble effect you're gonna get from it. But basically, the baking soda is gonna react with the paint, create a bunch of bubbles, and then build up a lot of texture on the design. I'm going to start with a base color, and then I'm going to build on it probably by adding some other different colors. I'm going to start with a gray chalk paint. I've also got let's see, this is acrylic paint called Classic Caramel and acrylic paint called Melted Chocolate. Oh, chocolate and caramel. Well, there you go. That sounds really good too. And I'm going to be painting the bowl. I'm going to paint about 1 inch around the inside as well, so the soil level is not going to go up to the very top, it's going to be down, so I don't want you to be able to see the terracotta in the inside. And then I'm going to paint the plate as well. It is my intention to keep this design inside. Maybe after my Amaryllis are finished blooming, I'll pop this outside and just see how it does in the elements, see if it stands up. If it doesn't, well then in my next treatment I'll probably use some type of sealer to make it last longer. But other than that, you guys enjoy. I started by eyeballing about a 1-to-1 ratio and then mixing thoroughly with my brush. You can see that it takes a minute for it all to come together, but then you can really feel once it all grasps and starts mixing really well together. I definitely layered on the paint very thick. I really didn't hesitate to leave a lot of paint sitting on the surface of this. I felt like the more paint I had, the more texture I would get. Okay, while we're waiting for the first layer of paint to dry, I wanted to show you guys my Amaryllis. So I actually ordered these in October and I just got busy with life. And so they have been in their packages for a while, and you can see I literally just took them out today. So I'm hoping that these will straighten up some. We'll see. It's a nice big bulb. I believe these are at least 30 centimeters each, which those are the type of Amaryllis I prefer because I can get multiple buds, and you can see that coming up here. And so this one right here is a jumbo double Amaryllis called Dancing Queen. And I'll put up a photo for you guys to see. This one is Jumbo Amaryllis Picoty. This one right here is Jumbo Double Amaryllis Nymph. And this one's Jumbo Amaryllis Rolona. And I ordered these from Brex, and I believe Dutch Grown, but I could be wrong. I'll look it up and put it on the screen. Bulbs are still in really good shape. Key thing about when planting Amaryllis bulbs is you only want to bring the soil up about halfway. You don't want the soil to get up here into the leaves area because you don't want it getting down in all those little sections. You don't want water getting in there too, because that's how the bulb will rot out. So you want to make sure you just bring the soil level just a little bit past halfway, and you should be good. I really hope that these will straighten out, but truthfully, if they don't, I might have some really cool looking balloons as well. How fun those are. So pretty. Okay, let's check on our paint. Okay, I've got one initial thick coat on. And what I was thinking about, going back after it had dried a little bit and just kind of brushing across the top to see if I could create a little more texture, which kind of looks like it will do that. Yeah. So it just knocks down some of the taller areas. Next, I mixed up a second color. I used a little bit of baking soda with this as well, and then I applied it sparingly to the overall pot. I did not apply it evenly. I kind of just applied it where I thought it might naturally have, accumulated, if it was stone or concrete, or if it had been sitting in the elements for a long time. Okay, this basic comb ended up being the most awesome tool for this project. I kind of just drug it across the surface as both the paints were still wet, and it really kind of just broke up and created a lot of texture. Absolutely love this technique so much. Okay, if you don't already have this water-based wax by Waverly in your DIY goodie bag, you definitely need to get some. It's great for so many projects. Mine's about $10 for a container, which seems like a lot, but it goes a long way. I loved applying it to this particular piece, and one of the reasons I also love it is it's water-based, so it's super easy to clean brushes afterwards. Next, I applied the Waverly water-based white wax. It was definitely a scary moment. It's a scary moment every time I start to do this because you apply that white wax and it's like, oh my gosh, I covered up everything I just did. But you have to remember that you can go back with a soft cloth and begin wiping away and pulling away that wax. And once you do that, that's when the texture really starts to become visible for you. Now remember, this is water-based wax, so if you really wanted to take a lot of it off, you can go back and wet your cloth and then begin wiping away. I personally love the texture that was left behind, so I did not take away any more than what a dry cloth would leave behind. added potting soil. I filled it about 1/3 of the way, and then I packed it down a little bit, and then I started placing the Amaryllis bulbs in there. Make sure that the Amaryllis bulbs are standing straight up so that they're not tipping to the side or anything along those lines. And don't forget, the soil can only go up about halfway on an Amaryllis bulb. You don't want it to go up higher, because at that point it can start getting into the leaves and the folds and the layers, and that's when your bulb will start to rot. And there you go, we're all done. I absolutely love this baking soda paint. I look forward to showing you guys some more videos of how I've utilized it in my house and in different ways other than just applying it to a pot like this. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to my channel and be sure to click the notification bell so you can know about my latest videos. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be.